Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you, my phone just went asleep, signs that you would love being a druid. Now these aren't signs that you definitely are a druid, because you can't just be a druid without choosing to be a druid. It's a catchier title, so that's why the video is titled that. So these are things that might mean that druidry would be a good path for you. Druidry would be something that could benefit you in your life. So let's just get into the different signs. Now, before I get into the different signs, I think it's important to say that I would call myself a bard of the druid path. I am not associated with any different druid organisation. I'm not a member of the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, which, if you don't know, is one of the main druid organisations, and they run a like a druid course that you can do. I'm not currently enrolled on that course, but I am just somebody who is independently studying the subject of druidry, making the most of all the free resources that are out there. And I've been doing this for the past 3 years now. It is my 3-year druidry anniversary, literally probably this week. I only have one book on druidry. I have books on mostly witchcraft because my background is in witchcraft. I used to be a witch, and that was mostly what my practice was for the last 10 years, but I am now going into more of a mainly druid path, starting off as a bard, which is the first grade of druidry, but we won't go into all of that today because we're only on 10%. We won't go into that today. That is for another day, to talk about the different druid grades. But yes, let's just begin with the first one. So a big sign that you would love being a druid is you have a deep connection with nature, and you feel like you connect more deeply with nature than the average person. So you love going for walks out in nature, you feel connected to the trees, the moon, the sea, animals, plants, mushrooms, all sorts of different natural things. You love the elements like air, water, fire, earth. You feel connected to that. You feel connected with the earth, and you just are in general a more like outdoorsy person. We don't have to be outdoorsy to be into druidry, but if you do like the outdoors, then it is a big sign that you might love being a druid. So the next one is especially for the first grade of druidry, which is being a bard, so like the beginner druid. If you are creative, especially if you are a poet or a musician, you would love the bardic grade and you would love being a druid. So druids love to express themselves through music, through poetry, through art, any kind of art, but they focus a lot on like written stuff, so like poetry, songwriting. You would love reading up about druidry and expressing yourself by I haven't filmed a video in so long, it's so hard to get my flow with talking. You would love being a bard because it is all about music and it's all about poetry and all of that sort of stuff, and delving into that. So yes. The next one is you would look at more natural ways of healing before you turn to modern medicine. So you like essential oils, you like learning about different herbs and how they can be used, and just all ways of being a natural healer. This is very much associated with the Ovate grade, which is the middle grade of studying to become a druid. So yes, before turning to modern medicine, you will try out other natural remedies to try and get yourself well again. The next one is you are into meditation, or you feel drawn to start meditation. Meditation is a very integral part of druid practice. A lot of druids find that it is very, very useful, and it really helps to strengthen and deepen your practice. and it helps to connect you better with yourself, with nature, with your gods and goddesses that you might end up working with. And yeah, so meditation is a core important practice. The next one is you see cycles of life. So where people might see there's an end and a beginning of life, you see that life is more cyclical. So when you die, you go into the earth, and then you're born again as like a tree, or you kind of, like, your ashes go to helping plants to grow. So you kind of see life in a more as more of a cycle than just like a beginning and an end. So in Druidry, paganism, Wicca, all of the earth religions, the Wheel of the Year is celebrated. So you have 8 different holidays throughout the year, starting from Imbolc at the beginning of the traditional calendar that most people follow. So that's in February, and then you have, it's been a long time since I've thought about Sabbats. I'm looking on my wall. Then you have Ostara, then Beltane, then Midsummer, then Lammas, then Mabon, then Samhain, then Yule, and then it goes back to Imbolc again. So those are all of the ways that kind of pagans and Wiccans call these ceremonies. Sometimes Druids tend to call them by different names, but those are the ones that I'm familiar with my witchcraft background, so that's the ones I've shared today. So yes, you see the year going round as a cycle. So the trees start off with no leaves, and then they start to bloom, and then you have the summer where the trees are in full bloom, and then they lose their leaves in the autumn, and then they go through winter without any leaves, and then the leaves are grown again, and it goes as a cycle. So if you feel connected to these cycles and you see the cycles of life, you might love Druidry, because that is a really important thing in Druidry, that things come back around. The next one is animism. Now, animism is a very common belief among Druids. So it is where you believe that even non-living things have a spirit. So even things like rivers and rocks and stuff like that all have a kind of like soul that you can connect with. But I don't really know a lot about animism yet, so I will leave that to the experts to talk about that. So go and research animism more if you think it is interesting. The next one is you yearn for something real to connect to that isn't artificial, like you want to move away from spending so much time on technology, you want to spend more time in nature, you want to have more of like spiritual experiences. So all of these sorts of things are reasons why you might want to start Druidry, or even just researching Druidry. So yes. The next one is you're drawn to old folklore and mythology. If you decide to pursue a path in Druidry, there are loads of myths and mythology, folklore, gods and goddesses to learn about. So that can be a really, really interesting and fun part of the path of Druidry. The next one is you care about sustainability, so you care about nature, protecting it, making sure that it is preserved and it is nice for the next generations that will come through. You also care about being more eco-conscious, so you care about recycling, you care about reusing things, buying secondhand, all of those sorts of when you care about preserving nature, those sorts of things can mean that you would love being a Druid, because Druids love to look after the earth. So yes, the next one is you journal and write down your experiences. Now this is really, really important in Druidry, to see your development. You often keep a journal, so you can write down experiences you have on walks, on meditations, on different adventures you go on. So if you are someone who likes to write down this stuff anyway, that is great. You would love to do You might love Druidry, where you can have very profound experiences and be able to record them down. The final one is you just feel drawn to this path, and sometimes that's all you need. Like, if you just feel drawn to it, you should go for it. You should go and research it, see if it's something for you. You don't have to sign up to any of the organisations or any of the online courses unless you are ready and want to make that commitment. But you can be a druid and research druidry without any of that, because the core of it is just what you learn from nature and being out in nature, and that is kind of the root of druidry, because without going out in nature and everything, you wouldn't have anything, you wouldn't have druidry. I don't know. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. That is all of my different points I had to share today. I want to just add a disclaimer at the end of this video that I am not an expert in druidry at all. I've only written a research paper on it, and I've only researched it a bit compared to how much I could research it over the last couple of years, because it's been crazy busy with A-levels and other stuff. So I have only just dipped my toes into druidry. I have not started I'm literally just at my beginning of the journey. So these are just all points that I have learnt from what I've learnt so far. So definitely go and do your own research, and definitely don't just take my word for it. Look at other people's videos on druidry and other articles and books and everything to see if it is right for you. But it's just a very, very beautiful path, and it is a way of life. It is a way to live on this earth, to appreciate it and to feel connected with it. And it is just a beautiful way to live. So that is why I love to be a druid. And I'm going to be making a whole video on why I am a druid and I've decided to do that path, and why I'm a bard and what it means to me. But yeah, that is all I have to say for today. I'm also going to be doing a video where I talk about like main practices of druids that you can start doing if you want to adopt more druidry into your life. But that is all I have to say for today, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!